Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Getting to Know a Draftee, and we're joined by one that's really exciting for the channel. We've talked about this gentleman a lot. Composed, he's likened to Scott Pendlebury, Dandenong Stingrays, Henry Hustwaite. How are you doing, Henry?
Good, thanks, Pommy. Thanks for having me.
Hey, it's our pleasure. We're excited about hearing what you've got to offer, but obviously we're about 4 days away from the draft. How are we feeling with it being almost here, finally?
Yeah, no, it's pretty close. It's come up pretty quick. So, yeah, definitely pretty excited. Just, yeah, I wish it was over already. Anxious wait.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you've had a long season. What have you been doing to stay in shape, just relax a little bit after a real pressured season? How's the off season been treating you?
Yeah, I've had kind of a rehab program for my ankle that's gone for quite a while, but getting back into the swing of things now. So it felt like a long stretch through that kind of early on period of the start of the off season. But yeah, finally back and doing stuff, which is good. So yeah, very happy.
Now you've got used to having long layoffs with being in Victoria because of COVID. Now we speak to draftees and they tell us 16 years old, 17 years old, that's probably their most important footy for development. Being Victorian, obviously we had literally no football in some parts of that and very limited. How did you work around that and what did you take out of that period?
Yeah, it was very hard, but schooling, I tried to do that, and then when you got a chance to go do your exercise in those time periods, yeah, just tried to grab both my brothers, Campbell and Fletcher. They've been great to have. So Campbell, he was always trying to get stuff done as well, so he was a big help to have, and yeah, someone who had kind of the same ideas throughout that period, and just we tried to get something done no matter what we could do.
You've got to adapt. It was so difficult speaking to some of the SA boys, some of the WA boys. It kind of was a very short period for them. We kind of had 12 months extra. So it's amazing to see so many Victorians in that top 25 based on the fact a lot of you guys missed a year of football.
Yeah. No, that definitely makes sense. It's crazy to think that what we went through is a bit different to some of the other states for sure.
Now, obviously, at the start of the show, we described a lot of the pundits have said you're Scott Pendlebury-esque. How would you describe your game style?
Just someone who's versatile, someone who can play as a defender and a midfielder. I try and never waste a possession. Someone who just tries to be really efficient. And yeah, I've got pretty good composure and decision making. That's probably my best traits. So yeah, just skills aren't too bad as well. So I just try and make sure I always up to a good level. So yeah.
Well, you really stood out this year as well for Dandenong particularly, and being that bigger size, like you say, you can roll in about 3 or 4 positions. How would you rate this year for yourself? Is everything gone according to plan? Is there anything you'd like to do differently?
Yeah. No, I was pretty happy with how the year went. And I definitely exceeded my expectations personally, and as a team. I definitely think people didn't have us, expected to be in the grand final. So that was a great achievement. But yeah, I just tried to stay really consistent and do what I could. And, I wanted to make those Vic country teams and, yeah, stuff like the academy. That was crazy. I definitely didn't expect that to come. So, yeah, just very grateful for that experience.
Mate, that's awesome. And obviously you've attracted a few AFL clubs. What has it been like talking to them 18 gentlemen? Is that daunting? Did you enjoy that experience?
Yeah, the first couple I was very nervous, but they just try and make you feel as comfortable as they can, and it's all pretty simple questions early on, so that was nice and easy. But yeah, they're all interviews are pretty similar now, so it's just getting a bit repetitive, and but yeah, it's awesome.
Well, you're in the final stretch now. You're in the final stretch. No more interviews, so you'll be good. With the season as it is, How does, looking at the draft, you're in that horrible place for a Victorian where there's a lot of interstate teams. How does the thought of maybe potentially upping sticks and moving interstate grab you? Does that excite you?
Yeah, no, that definitely excites me. I'll probably have to move anyway, whether that be to the city or interstate. So, yeah, that definitely wouldn't bother me. I'd definitely be really excited for the opportunity and something that wouldn't faze me for sure.
Now, you've played, obviously, like you say, real successful season, got to the finals with Dandenong. You've also played for Vic Country. We speak to the AFL footballers, and a lot of the younger players say the step up from VFL to AFL is ginormous in the terms of ball speed and talent and skill level. Do you see that playing in the difference from Dandenong to Vic Country? Is that noticeable for a junior as well?
Yeah, definitely. You know, NAB League, after you play some of those national games, it feels quite a bit different. You know, things move a bit slower and stuff like that. The power and speed's definitely probably down a level, I'd say. And then, yeah, it just keeps going with the academy game. That was a different level. And, yeah, just as you keep going, it keeps getting quicker, faster, more powerful. It's, it's definitely different levels for sure.
And as you've moved up through them levels, have you added anything particular to your preparation for these games? Is the things that you've learned that really help you out on the field?
I've just always tried to keep it pretty simple and similar. You know, just trying to make sure doing all the right things with preparation, sleeping, eating, all that stuff. Yeah, just a bit of making sure the body's stretching, all that stuff as well. So that's definitely, I've improved that from start to finish this year. So yeah, still keep improving.
Have you got any weird superstitions for these big games?
I don't really, no. No, nothing too crazy. So, no, just try and keep it the same.
Mate, now you've played with some really top talents for Dandenong particularly and also Vic Country. You've played with most of the top players in this draft. Is there anyone that stands out to you that you think you rate a little bit higher than the pundits do and you're surprised he hasn't got the kudos?
Yeah, I think definitely Mitch from Stingrays. He's someone who, you know, he's a workhorse. He just gives it his all every week. I think he should be right up there with some of the best in the group. But maybe isn't getting that type of recognition. But I think, yeah, he's someone who would be a great pick for any team.
Now with 5 minutes to go in an elimination final, we're on an AFL list. We're 2 goals down. What are we seeing from Henry? What's your mindset going to be, and what are we going to see watching from home?
Just if I'm in the midfield, just try and get it going forward. Yeah, just try and do the work in the midfield so we can send it forward and give our forwards a crack. But yeah, just make sure pressure's high and give it everything we got. So yeah.
Mate, I love that. Just get that green light going and forward.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, if we were going to do some research on you, Henry, what game stands out for you that really showcases your talents to the best of your abilities?
I'd like to say the Allies game, Vic Country versus Allies. I feel like that was my best of the year. Yeah, I just felt like, I don't know, I felt like I just had a good day and did what I could do best. Just tried to be really efficient and use it well. And yeah, had a good win as well. So that was nice, yeah.
Now, you are really equipped for AFL. We know you've played on the ball, you've played out wide, you've played down the back. Is there a particular position, though, that you really enjoy, a favoured position of them?
I'd probably go with the midfield, the inside mid. That's definitely something I've done throughout all juniors and definitely where I'm most comfortable. So I'd probably have to say that. But defense has been awesome. Like I've still got a lot to learn with that, being pretty new to it. But yeah, I'd love to play both and keep doing that at a good level.
Mate, that's awesome. I mean, versatility, that's the name of the game. It's obviously in the AFL, you're going to come in there and learn a role, but the fact you've got a few strings to your bow looks good on the old AFL recruiters, doesn't it?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Now, who's been the biggest influence on your career? Is there someone that really stands out that's really taken you to the next level?
Yeah, like Dad and my two brothers, they've been huge. Dad's coached throughout juniors quite a bit. Yeah, he's played a lot in his time as well, so he knows what he's talking about. But yeah, he's given up quite a bit this year to give me like the best chance. So yeah, just very grateful for what he's done and the things he says. You just try and take on board and put it into action. So yeah, he's been awesome.
It's good as well you mentioned your brothers as well. It's nice to hear that the siblings are helping as well.
Yeah. Well, being the youngest child, it's always pretty competitive in our household. So yeah, they've been definitely key to improvements in myself. So yeah, got to give them a little shout out.
But first,
an ad.
Sponsors of today's channel are Manscaped, the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered to look after the most important jewels in your house, your family jewels. Manscaped's performance package is an absolute game changer, and it's the ultimate in men's hygiene. Join over 7 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped, and I've got an exclusive offer for you. 20% off, free worldwide shipping if you use the code POMMY at manscaped.com at the checkout. And if my maths is correct, that's around 14 million balls that they service. Time to throw out your razor. Click the link, get 20% off and free shipping with code POMMY, that's POMMY, at manscaped.com. 20% off, free shipping anywhere in the world. Unlock your confidence and use the right tools from the job and take your on-ball game to the next level.
Back to you in the studio.
Now, is there, obviously this will change in 4 days' time because you won't be able to support another team, but have you got a particular AFL team that you do follow?
Yeah, I'll go for the St Kilda. So, yeah, the whole time, but yeah, it might change. So yeah,
that explains why my wife likes you. Then she's a big St Kilda fan, so
yeah.
She'll be happy. We've had a lot of Collingwood on this show, so it's nice to get a different answer.
Yeah, no, well, my brother's Collingwood as well, so I'm the odd one out in our household.
I'd imagine that grand final in 2010 was exciting in your house then.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Yeah, a bit disappointed on our end, but is what it is. Life goes on.
That's a good attitude to have. It's a good attitude to have with that thing. Now, is there a favourite player, that you really try and steal little bits and pieces off? You watch a lot of the highlights?
Yeah, like Pendlebury, like you said early on, he's someone I've watched the last couple of years, and yeah, he's definitely been probably my big idol. Yeah, just things that he does, try and input into my game, and I like the Bont as well. He's another favourite that I like. Yeah, just those taller figures in the midfield that give it a good crack. So, yeah, love to watch those two.
Well, I mean, a hybrid of them two would be sensational in the AFL, wouldn't it? You've got brute strength and class combined there.
Yeah, no, it'd be pretty cool.
Now, going into the future, I've got a magic wand. 15 years' time, you've retired one club player. How would you like the fans on social media to talk about Henry? What would you like them to say about you?
Just someone who was a great person on and off the field. Someone who's really consistent week in, week out. Yeah, I don't know. That'd be pretty cool, but I'd never really thought about what they'd say. Just hopefully some positive stuff. That'd be nice.
Mate, I'm sure having watched you play juniors, if you can transcend into AFL, I think you'll win the hearts and minds of whichever club you're at. Now sorry.
You go.
Yeah. The last football question: if you were the list manager, where do you think you should go? What position in the draft?
I haven't really thought about positions. I don't really care. I'll just be happy to go, hopefully somewhere. But I don't know. See some of the stuff on social media. It's funny what they say, and yeah, you just have to laugh at it sometimes. But yeah, I don't know. I'll take whatever. I don't care.
How do you cope with that as well? Because I've noticed that in the last couple of years, doing the draft previews and stuff like we do on this channel and Blue Abroad, there wasn't much coverage of you guys. And this year, it seems to have really upped a ramp, and we're really getting a lot more intel on you guys. How do you react to some of, you get some bizarre comparisons, but you also get some bizarre criticisms as well, I've noticed.
Yeah, no, it's crazy some of the things you see. My mates all love it. They go, "Oh, did you see this?" I goes, "I don't want to look at it." So, the the so-called gurus, they're pretty funny to see what they're saying, but it's it's a bit different to what's actually happening, I think. So yeah, it's funny.
It's weird talking to AFL players. It's genuinely the bad stuff they see comes from their friends who are like, "Oh, have you seen this article?" Like they block it out mentally, but then it's their mates who are like, "Oh, this person said this about you," and I always find that quite funny.
Yeah. No, it's a bit different. So it is funny to see.
Oh, well, I mean, we've been very positive here. We've tried to give you a bit of love. So we're one of the good guys. Now, we end with bizarre questions so we can learn a little bit about Henry as a person. And the first one is probably my favorite.
Right.
Posters on the wall as a kid. Who did you have?
I had a few basketballers early on. I had Kobe, LeBron. Basketball was kind of my thing early on, but yeah, it's kind of changed now. So yeah, I loved basketball.
Does that make you a Lakers fan, having the late great Kobe on there?
Yeah. No, I loved watching him. He was definitely my idol early on. So yeah, him and LeBron were my big two.
Did you read a lot of Kobe books? Obviously, the Mamba mentality. It's a phenomenal way of mind, and there's a lot to learn from. Is that something that you've also done as well?
I'm not too big of a fan of reading, but some of these documentaries and stuff that I watch, just crazy. Of just the things he does was absolutely absurd. So I'd like to start. I think maybe start reading a little bit later on, but I haven't quite just yet.
Mate, it's fair enough. When I was your age, I don't think I read unless I was at school, to be honest. It's an older person thing, so plenty of time, mate.
Yeah, that's it.
Now, most bizarre food you've ever tried? What sticks out?
Nothing crazy. I think, Brussels sprouts, they're pretty bad. I think I don't rate them. So, that was kind of a one and done thing. So, yeah, not a fan.
Is that a Christmas thing?
I'm not too sure. I think it might have been something that Mum was trying, and gave it a crack, and I think that'll be the last time. So, yeah.
As a POM, I can confirm the only times I've ever seen Brussels sprouts is Christmas. I force feed my kids at Christmas. It's a tradition, but I am with you. One of the worst foods ever created to man.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, if you had a personal theme song, what would you say your theme song is? What song resonates with you?
Oh dear. I love the Joker and the Thief. That's one of my favorite. Dad loves it as well. So that's one I really rate.
That's a great track, that as well.
Yeah, it's not bad. I'll go with that one.
Right, I love it. Now, Christmas just around the corner. Best Christmas present you've ever received?
I think we got one as a family. We got a trampoline early on, so that was really cool. Something, I don't know, it's a bit different, but that was we had a small house back in Rye, and that was great for our little property, and that was probably one of the good ones for sure.
I've got to give your dad kudos. We've got a trampoline for our kids, and that was the worst Christmas day, putting that up when the kids want to jump on it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's he said the exact same thing, so it's fun.
I rate your dad. It sounds like a good idea to buy a trampoline for your kids until you've got to put it up.
Yeah, 100%.
Now, have you got a guilty pleasure that you watch on TV? Is there something that you enjoy just chilling out and binge watching?
Not really. I've watched quite a bit of YouTube this year. Whether that be just, I'm into like the cars and motorbike stuff, so that's something that I've watched quite a bit of. But yeah, it's YouTube, I've just had a little bit here and there this year. So yeah.
I've got to say, I'm a bit of a YouTube addict as well over TV. It's something that I find myself getting lost doing.
Yeah, no, you can spend some time watching it. So yeah, you just gotta keep checking the clock.
Now, is there a fictional character that you relate to? Is there a fictional character from a movie, TV show that you wouldn't mind being?
Oh, hard one. I don't know. I think Superman, that'd be cool. Yeah, I don't know. I rate that, but I haven't really thought about that too hard. No.
You've got the size to be Superman. You're a big boy.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, I watched a few Superman movies, so I'll go with that one.
Mate, I like that. Well, I mean, we've come to the end of our wonderful interview with you, Henry. We, on behalf of the channel, we've talked about you a lot. We've seen your journey. We wish you all the best, and we're going to be excited to hear your name called out. We wish you all the best in the AFL, and we can't wait to see you tear it up.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Cheers, Henry. Good luck, mate.
Cheers. Thank you.